So with that being said, I'll go ahead and open it up for questions. So how it'll work is I'm going to call each of you one by one. If you have one or two questions, make sure that they're your most pressing and most important questions that only I could probably answer for you. So go ahead and ask that question. If you don't have any questions or they've already been answered, then you can go ahead and say, hey, I've already had my question answered. Thanks for your time. So I'll start with Kelvin. I'll go to Brant, and then I'll go to Jay Thomas. So we'll go ahead and have you unmute Kelvin, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It's been an interesting process to learn about. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the number of algorithms and how that's actually implemented, and whether or not, if we start with a particular tier, can we grow over time as our resources grow? In other words, we plow that back in, and it lifts us to the different levels.
Yeah, that answer is yes, absolutely. So we have some of our clients, start at the gold level, our most economic option. And then when they have the additional funds or whatever the case may be, then they do decide to upgrade eventually. And that is just going to be the difference between what you've paid for the other package to the actual price of the other one. And you'll have a grandfathered access to the price points that you've seen today.
And again, the other part of this question was, I've got these retirement funds that I need to move. Some is Roth and some is 401k. And my thinking was, hey, give you all the ability to begin to manage that if I put it in the appropriate account, and let that move both for passive and for ultimately retirement stream.
Sure, sure. It works directly if you have self-directed. Otherwise, you would, okay, so if you have self-directed, then you're solid.
Yeah, the goal, as I was talking with folks, was to create the self-directed fund. Right now, I've moved from a W-2. I'm creating a business. We'll then create the self-directed. Once I do that, then you all get it, kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yep, that works.
Very good. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, we'll go with Brant, then Jay Thomas, and then we'll go with Patty.
Hi, Derek.
Almost. It's Aaron, just for anyone who might have
I'm
been.
sorry, Aaron. Yeah, I'm sorry. Too many people on different Zooms today. So sorry, Aaron. So the startup costs, that includes the 14.8K.
So there's two separate transactions, just to be clear. There's the upfront fee, that's our membership fee. That's to give you access to the algorithms. Then there's a separate transaction where you will need to fund your actual account to make sure that your account is being traded on. So you've got your upfront fee, and then you will actually put in your capital for trading.
Okay, and the minimum capital for each class again?
Yeah, so overall for your trading account is we ask that you have a minimum of $4,000. There are some algorithms that give you access to them for less than that, but we ask that you have at least $4,000 to get your account started. And if you don't, then it might not be the best fit for you.
Okay. All right.
Love it.
Thank you.
100%. Love it. Okay, so we got Jay Thomas, then we got Patty, and then we'll go to Ray.
Hi, Aaron. Pleased to meet you. I have the question I have is on the trading side of the operations. I know it's AI based. I know that you also have mentioned, or rather I've heard through the reading that you have trading experts who are watching this and they intervene as necessary. So I get that point. You made this in your opening comments. You used the word consistency, and that's an important word for me. Anything is successful for a period, but then suddenly it blows up on you. In the game of trading, at some point, there's an opposing trade, and statistically, it doesn't perpetually keep winning all the time, as you know. So, um, how can I be comfortable that this is going to be consistent as you have experienced in your early days, and how can you ensure that that consistency will continue going forward in months and years to come? If you could
Yeah,
answer that.
great question, Jay. And let me just insert here, this needs to be said, and we need to make sure we're a room full of investors. And so investment does involve risk, right? Risk is a part of this. There's no guarantees in this space, but we do have consistency as we discussed. And the way that we are able to engineer consistency is by making sure that it's not just an algorithm. Other individuals may have an algorithm, to provide, and you get access and you're the one who's running it and responsible and all of those things. But most of you are either, working full-time jobs, or you're business owners, or you're retired and you don't want to take on a second job. And so for us, we rely on our professionals and their expertise to not only perform, but also continue to maintain their algorithms. And that's the key, right? Constant improvement, constant maintenance allows for it to be sustainable.
Okay. So what do you do in order to preserve capital in terms of, yes, there will be drawdowns, and if I remember correctly, the worst drawdown was about 13%. Maybe, I don't know if it's more than that or not, but is that what are we looking at in terms of drawdown on a monthly basis? And if so, if you run into a situation like that, what are the risk management steps you're taking to manage these funds here so that it's doesn't blow out completely? So
Yeah, great question. There's two approaches to that. Number one, it's a stop loss. The stop loss is at the trade level, right? And so if an individual trade, which we trade, multiple times per day, if an individual trade starts to lose anywhere between, depending on your strategy, 1 to 10%, then that's when those trades will be exited out of. And that's that, right? That's the protection on the trade level. The protection on the account level, that's going to be called an equity protector. Now, we have equity protectors for some of our strategies set at 10%, some are at 30%, and some don't have equity protectors at all. Those are the more risky options. Now, those are the ones that typically produce, the highest returns, but those are the ones that are associated with the most amount of risk. So those are ones that we just make sure that our clients, when you do have your onboarding call, you go through each and every one of our strategies that we do have. You look at the profiles of each, and you match the profiles with your tolerance in order to choose your portfolio.
okay, awesome, thanks. I think the other questions are straightforward, and I can grab that from wherever it's needed. But uh, your lowest entry point is at 14.8, 14.9, if I remember correctly, the silver, in terms of the fees. Now, and the minimum capital you're recommending, I mean, your minimum capital you're stating is 4,000. That'll take a while to make that up. We're looking at over 2 years to make up the fee. So if you're really going to consider this, your average very conservative return is at 30% or so, you rather have a larger capital and put in there.
Yeah, the average investor puts in $100,000 into their account. Now, there's people that start with $10,000, $20,000. There's people that start with $500,000+. It depends on what risk capital looks like to you and your strategy overall. Some people are like, they just are like, hey, this is the amount that I have. and I'm going to start with that. Versus others are like, hey, this is the amount that I have, and I'm going to put in 10% of that because I'm conservative by nature. So, that's typically the approaches of our clients.
The last question. This fee is a one-time fee. Should I plan for any projected fees or other costs down the road?
The only additional costs, silvers aren't eligible for it, for our client events. And that is off the menu just for anyone who may be confused as silver, because that's on a qualification basis based off of like how much you actually, how much you're actually looking to be able to invest. That being said, the other fees associated would be optional. They're not required, like upgrading or client events or anything like that.
Thank you very much.
100%. Love it. All right. So we've got Patty, we've got Ray, and then we've got WG.
Hi there. I'm in with I only have a few minutes, but I just wanted to say I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous. I don't fully understand, with the AI, is your trading one based on the AI, and is what you're doing anything based on the AI or not? That's one thing. Or are they just good traders, or do they use the AI in order to make their good trades? And it almost seems like too good to be true because it's like guaranteed. And that's where I start getting a little nervous, because it is a big investment of putting in that 15,000. And for some people, I know it's not. And I do have, an ample money to make it, but it's just that I don't want to lose it. It's like, even though it's not that much money to put the 15,000, I would just do the safest, most conservative, not into the crypto. I just want to do the most safe thing. But in order to make that money back, um, I think that my advisor was telling me to put in 15, you're not going to make it back as fast. So I would just start with that. And then if I see it going good, then I could add more. But is there any, as you said, there is a risk, but is there any risk that you foresee with the AI, with Trump, with whatever, that is going to put us right now in times of a risk? Because right now the market is doing well right now. I know, if you had the magic ball, but it seems like you kind of do have the magic ball a little. You
I
do seem
don't.
like
Come
you
on.
kind
I
of cracked
can't.
the
I can't
code a
have you
little.
think that. I can't have you think
Yeah,
that. I
well,
don't.
you do. It does seem that way, that you crack the code a little, because there's
Well,
something you're doing which is very, 5% a month is like, people are happy to get 5% a year. So 5% a month is an extremely powerful, alluring
a lot of
carrot
people
in
are
front of
not.
our faces,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, right?
Okay. Okay. So, a few things that stand out to me.
Okay.
I am so just recently, I was
Yeah.
head down the last 4 months focused on passing what's called a Series 65. And Series 65 is to become an investment advisor. Um,
Okay.
I was able to pass a couple of weeks ago. Thank God. It was difficult, but Lord God, I made it. Now,
Good for you. Yeah.
thank you kindly. Prego, prego. Uh, all of that being said, the studies said when a client talks about guarantees, they talk about risk aversion, they talk about I can't lose this money, then those are like kind of like
Yeah,
ringing
I get it.
alarm.
It
And
doesn't, it
so,
doesn't exist. You're always going to have a risk no matter what. You're playing the
well,
game, you're playing a game of risk. It just by
there
engaging, in a sense. That's
you're
kind of part of the rules, right?
exactly, yes. Now to just make sure that we're clear and on the same page, any capital that you are putting into our strategy. Let me just paint this picture. Think of your portfolio as a pie, right? Now, in
Mhm.
your pie, you have your main investments, which would be your stocks or bonds, right? And then you have maybe have commodities, and then you have alternative investments. Alternative investments are strategies, they're private placements, those are hedge funds, those are funds, right? Though that's a part of your portfolio, but that's 10 to 20% of your portfolio. Hopefully you already have a 401k or a IRA
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
exactly, right? So of your portfolio, the alternative investment should represent 10 or 20%, because what it is is considered higher risk than the
Correct.
S&P,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Than the
This is,
S&P.
I call this money my Las Vegas account. It's just like my Las Vegas. I'm kind of like, it's a little
Okay,
money to play with.
fair
But like,
enough.
you know, of course, when you go to the, you know, risky place, you're going in hoping you're going to win, not that you're going to lose, or you wouldn't, you know, be going in
Yeah,
the
we're
first place.
working with
So,
professionals that have had a history of success, and more often than
yeah,
not, they are successful. And so I just don't want it to be like, I can't
it's not guaranteed. It's
cannot
not
I
guaranteed.
cannot lose this money, Aaron. This is money I can't lose. Well, that's,
Yeah.
the rule number
And
one of
don't do it.
investing
Right.
is don't invest money you can't afford to lose. Like, because there's no
Yeah,
one that actually has a magic ball or a crystal ball or what have you. So
exactly.
I just want that to
No,
be.
I appreciate and I get that. I do get that. In terms of like the market and the volatility, um, I was asking this, does this not, of what you're doing, does the volatility not really as affected because of the expertise in the training? In other words, because they know what they're doing, it almost doesn't matter if the market is up or down. So in that way, that's when I say you cracked the code. It's like you can still win with how you're
Yeah.
investing because of the knowledge of when it's up, we do this, when it's down, we do this.
Yeah.
Like you know how to kind of
And
modulate your response based on what's happening in the market, which in a certain way makes it, in my mind, a little bit more of a safer investment because you're not just like throwing it in the wind or doing an option. And not even that I really know what that is, except that my son lost a lot of money in options because he didn't know how to play it right and did a
yeah.
riskier thing, you know, where this seems
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
more.
Options are risky, right? Options are pretty
Yeah.
dangerous, and that's why you have to, sign all sorts of disclosures before you get access to an options account. They ask you how long you've been trading and all that type of stuff. That being said,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, the algorithms use parameters to predict the market in a sense. They use technical and fundamental analysis patterns that they recognize in order to predict where prices are going to land. And typically they land in profit for us. And so, yes, there is the opportunity, just to answer your question. I'll be able to move on to Ray. But just to answer that question, yes, you do have the opportunity to make money in a bear market or a bull market. It
Okay,
just
that's
depends on
helpful.
where you
Yeah.
actually set your trade, and that's based
Okay.
on the analysis
Thank you.
that.
And then one last thing, and because I want to give Ray a chance too, and I apologize for taking up so much time, is just in terms of when you can take out your money, you can do it at any point. If like, you know what I mean, your money's not being held up. If you're like, okay, I did this, I
Yeah,
made X amount of money, and
yeah.
then you
So what
can
it
take it
is,
out. There isn't any holding or like,
yeah,
and
correct.
what
So
kind of if
I'll
you
answer
take
that
it
for you,
out.
Patty. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
thanks.
So how that works is you're going to open your own brokerage account. It's like you're opening your own bank account, whatever it is. You're going to have your own KYC, which means you'll upload your tax bill, your passport, or your ID. It's your specific account. That means that you can do whatever you want. Nobody has access to
Mm.
withdraw or deposit anything into your account. You're the only one that has that access. So if you want to liquidate it or take some out, take some profit out, whatever it is, then that's at your discretion at your time.
Okay, and then when you do take out profits, because I'm just learning about all this stuff, to keep it in for what, 2 years? Or like, is there an amount of
Well,
time that
so you're
usually
talking
is
about
better to
long-term
keep
and
it?
short-term gains. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
long-term starts at 1 year,
1 year.
366 days, right? So one day after
Okay,
1 year.
okay.
Love it. Well,
Thank
great
you.
questions, Patty. I appreciate it. So we'll
Thank
go
you.
to, absolutely. So we'll go to Ray, we'll go to WG, and then we'll go to Dan. If you can, let's limit it to 1 to 2 questions of your highest priority. Question first, context after, if it's going to be kind of more context.
I have a quick. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay, love it. Ray Maternick. It should be ladies first, Ray, but you've got a lady with you, so I'll say
Oh.
Ray Maternick first, and then
Okay.
we'll go with WG after.
Yeah. Well, hi, Aaron. How you doing? Make this real short. We got really screwed over in a scam. Okay, and so we got hit real hard, and it was a company that had a very similar kind of tiered system. Okay, but it was all crypto based. Okay, And I won't go into the details of it, but we got hit really hard. So we're really skeptical coming in. We need to do something to recover our funds, but we're really skeptical coming into this, you know. They had a tier system, the whole 9 yards, but we do have a couple questions. Connie, what question did you have?
Okay, my main one was, is there some sort of audited performance, or live broker statements that we can look at to review? Like historical,
You said, is there some sort of what statements?
audited, performance broker statements?
Yes, absolutely. So we use what's called My FX Book, also FX Blue, to verify the trades that we take part in. So when you do connect with your representative again, they can go through those MyFX books. That's a third party verifier in order for you to be able to see all the trades, all the profits, all the losses, any of the details that you'll want to see on those. So yes, there's definitely that.
Main question. And just the other question I had, when we had our meeting yesterday, the tier levels, is the 14.8 or 15,000, is that the amount to buy in and then you put the investment on top of that? Today's numbers seem different.
Yeah, so exactly, because it seems like a few of you are qualifying at the economy level, right? Our really our package that's not even really an option that we promote, but your representative, kind of looked into the financial qualification and wanted to be able to provide a solution. So that is where the silver comes into play, but it's typically not offered. That being said, it is, it does give you access to, I believe it's one algorithm, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yes.
that's a main reason why, our packages really start at gold, because we want to give you access to diversification. And so that's what it's really meant for. But for those that are in a certain situation right now, and they'll be able to build up into the higher tiers to get access to diversification, then we do allow, based on qualification, for some people to start at the silver level.
One of the question I had also was that in the meeting, I think we talked to Gary, but I think unfortunately he had an issue with parent.
Yeah, Ray, hi, I'm Zoe. I contacted you earlier, so I'm going to be your contact moving forward. Great to meet you.
Hey, Zoe. What he talked to me about, because we have we're trying to use what's left of our retirement funds to try to build it back up again. And he sent me a link to this company called Directed IRA. That I guess if we sign up for this program, that our funds would be transferred into this. We would transfer our funds into this directed IRA, and then everything would be traded from that. How does that? Can you explain that a little bit, please, and tell us a little bit about that company?
Yeah, so Directed IRA is a company that it's a solution provider, right? So as we were mentioning with Kelvin, if you have an IRA that is self-directed, then that means that you get to choose where those funds go. You get to decide how specifically it's invested. And so if you have one of those specific accounts, then you can use this company and they will help to facilitate the funds being sent over to the brokerage and make sure that everything's taken care of that way. It can be a little bit complex without an intermediary, and that's why they provide that service.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying in order for you to let people use their self-directed IRAs, they have to use this service to be
No,
like
no. Let me be clear. No, that's not the case. You can make the calls and talk to your brokerage or wherever your funds are being held, and have them help you. And there's no additional service fee for that. That's kind of the agreement that you already have with your provider. So no, you don't have to use that service. We just use it because we get these questions pretty often. Sometimes people don't have the time or the like kind of of the energy to kind of do that process, which there is a few steps to it. So you don't have to use our specific contact.
But I guess my point is, right now it's in a Discover Bank, so it's not really self-directed. It's just, it's doing interest. So we would have to move it into a self-directed account. So you recommend going this option?
Well, yeah, if you don't have if you don't already have like a contact person at your bank or your brokerage that you're really comfortable with and does things with you on a like kind of a expeditious pace, then we can help bridge that gap with a contact that we've used and they've been able to do it pretty efficiently. So if you don't have anyone else, you can absolutely use our resource. If you have someone that you know and you trust in that regard, then you can absolutely use your own contact.
Is there any additional cost for that?
I believe that there is a fee to that. I believe it's $1,000 or it's $1,500. I believe there is definitely going to be a fee associated, though. I think maybe it depends on the size of the account, but there is going to be an additional fee for that service.
Okay.
Love it.
All right.
All right.
So I guess I will talk to Zoe more about this, about what we can do.
Yeah, we can talk about that, Ray. Absolutely. We will catch up again on Zoom soon.
Okay.
Love it. All right.
Thank you.
So we've got WG, we've got Dan, and then we've got Mark from San Jose, California. We'll go with WG first. You can unmute and let me know what question you have. And if WG, you cannot unmute, then we'll go ahead and go to Dan and Mark and then Ray. Oh, WG?
I'm here.
All right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this time you're spending with us, and congratulations once again. I think you might have answered this question already, but I have a Fidelity account for my IRA, and it's from what I understand, self-directed means I can determine which investments I place my account in.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have an account like that already, would I still have to roll it over into one of your accounts to participate in this investment?
Yeah, it would need to be in a brokerage that does support the algorithms that we use, and so there
Okay.
would be that process to get it converted into the actual other brokerage.
Okay. Well, my other question was already asked and answered, so I appreciate your time. Thank you.
100%. All right. All right. So we've got Dan, we've got Mark, and then we've got Ray.
I'm going to rifle through for you. So your trading partner relationship, is that a larger company? And what happens if that relationship fails? How does ATN continue?
Great question. So we have 4 trading partners. We started with just one, and now we have 4 trading partners. And for us, we are, always on search for not only ones to backfill, but also perhaps there are ones that perform better than we currently have. And so we like to keep that competition pretty high, but we do a really good job, in my opinion, of the vetting process. So, we already have a few that are on kind of standby if any performance slips. And so we constantly look for making sure that we don't have any lag if any 1 or 2 needs to be replaced.
Okay, that's interesting. And good information. That was kind of speaks to the stability long term for me. More algos, does that mean higher return or lower risk?
Well, so the modern portfolio theory is talking about your risk versus your reward. And so with you having more diversification, specifically uncorrelated, then that typically focuses more on the risk. You're more so de-risking yourself rather than, increasing the returns. But if
Increasing
you have less, yeah,
profitability. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. That's kind of what I was wondering. That's what I thought, but I wanted to verify. So, as anyone looks at going into the silver level with a single algo, that's going to be potentially a higher risk than some of the higher levels that you would go into with multiple algorithms.
You've got it.
Got it. Okay. Just one really, I'm sure you get this all the time, but why the high entry costs? Where does that money go? The trading partners are getting a split of the trades and making money. I assume ATN needs some money, but some of these levels are a pretty substantial investment. Why is that?
Yeah, there's a few reasons. You get what you pay for, of course. There's a standard one. There's a difference. Where are you from, Dan, by the way?
Seattle.
Seattle. Okay. There's a difference between Washington University University of Washington and the local Seattle Community College, right? It's just a difference in not only education, you would assume, but more so who is associated, who are the professors, who are the people that are, facilitating this whole process. So for us, we are in our estimation and based on the results that we've been able to attain for not only myself but for our clients, we're top tier, and so we know that we still do have clients that want to join us at that level, and they get what they pay for, and they're happy that they did.
Fair enough. That's all I got. Thank you.
Love it. All right, so we've got Mark, we've got Ray, and then we've got CR.
This is Mark. I think every one of my questions was just the last one. You answered my question. I appreciate that on the last conversation.
Love it. Okay. All right. So we've got Ray and we've got CR, and then we'll go to Melinda.
Yeah, it's actually Ria. Sorry, I get that mistake a lot, so I thought you were saying my name. But yeah, I'm from Jersey. I think my husband's on the call too. We are interested in actually the more riskier tier, but we both don't really have experience in like trading. Like we have some investments in the IRA, 401k, and some other funds. But is it like a good? Because whenever I try to Google or ChatGPT your company, they're like, oh, it's for people who are experienced traders or experienced investors to monitor and take advantage of what you are offering, which is Bot Plus Advisors. So is it something that we should be hesitant if we don't have knowledge as much to the trading aspect of it?
Yeah, so it just goes back to the illustration of the portfolio overall. I think you're on your phone, so you can't necessarily, see my hand gestures, but you just thinking about a portfolio, you mentioned you have the traditional investments, a 401k or an IRA. You may have some stocks, you may have some bonds. Those are the traditional vehicles, right? That's going to get you the 5 to 10+% on an annualized basis. What we provide is access to alternative investments. And so that's going to be 10 or 20% of your portfolio. Depending on your risk level, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, right? And your capital. So those are the things, right? We just want to make sure that nothing that you do put in is taking away from your kids' college tuition or those type of things. This is risk capital. We have had a performance of great success, but we want to make sure that every bit of capital that's in it is fully understood that we're in the markets.
Okay, so no experience on my end is really gonna make a difference in performance. That you guys will just tap into my brokerage to trade with that, right?
You would use a compatible brokerage, and so once you do get your onboarding call, we'll help you to get into one of the brokerages that we do work with. But no experience is required on your end. That is correct. It's all using the traders that we have in our network.
And then the person that we've been talking to, Jared, he's been great answering all our questions. Is that someone point of contact with throughout the process going forward? Would we be having more team transparency in terms of like who's trading, our money, I guess, and then I know you're the face of the company, but it just seems like there would be more structured, like I guess customer service team that we talk to regularly to
Yeah.
question. Okay.
So you have a success management team, and that's going to
Okay.
be your contact person, or your contact team going forward. You're going to have access
Okay.
to our channels. We'll have a Telegram channel, which is the overall group, and then a Slack channel with you and your success team for faster responses. And so it is Jared is not your main point of contact when you do get
Right.
onboarded, but you will be
I
transferred to the person that from the rest of your relationship on will be right by your side.
Awesome. Yeah, because like we really want like a team that we can trust. So that sounds great. Thank you. That was all the questions we had.
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, we've got CR, we've got Melinda, and then we've got Rodney.
Hey, Aaron, how are you?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm great. Congratulations on your Series 7.
65, but
Some
who's counting?
65, sorry, 65.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not on camera. Unfortunately, it's kind of storming right now here, so power is going out a little bit. But either way, my couple questions here are, God forbid something happens to Aaron in the future, of course. Will this business continue? Do we have this long term, or is this just a, couple years out, something changes, etc.? What do what's your projection?
Yeah. So speaking of the Series 65, you do need a continuity plan. Continuity plan is the success management team has a success officer, and maybe you've seen a video or two of Julio in our kind of videos that we do put out on our podcast. And so he is actually the next man up. I'm just joking. In the event that something happens to me, yes, he is the next man up. And so that is part of the continuity plan that we do have.
Definitely got to keep him safe then. He's the VP, he's got to be guarded then, right?
Yeah, he's a very important person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your projection, your continuity is this is a set it and forget it kind of account that we're hoping for longevity. Um, Hopefully, the generational, kind of account here. Is that your goal?
Oh, 100%. And it's already been for our clients that we have, myself included. And so yeah, we're projecting more than 10 years for us to have a really solid runway. And for the fact that not only are we diversified now, we're going to continue to focus on diversification again to mitigate some of the risks that come with being able to attain the profits that we do.
Okay. Well, hi, Zoe. I see you back there now, but
Hi,
Aaron,
Tiara. How you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. I promised Zoe, Aaron, just so that you know that I'll be on camera the next time. Unfortunately, like I said, I've got power outage right now in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm in the dark right now. Thankfully, I'm on my
No
laptop
way.
instead.
I understand. No worries. Love it. All right, so
All right.
we'll go to.
Yeah. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
I appreciate the answers, Aaron, and I will see you soon. I promise that.
Absolutely. Excellent. Okay, so we've got Melinda, we've got Rodney, and then we've got Zoom user.
Hi, this is Melinda. I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, so we've got Rodney, Zoom user, and then I believe it's Lucia.
Hello, Aaron. Got a couple of questions. One, when you talk about the upgrades earlier from one level to the other level, is there a cost associated with that upgrade from one level to the next level outside of being grandfathered in, or is that just outside of the additional cost, or is there some additional cost associated with that as well?
No, there's no additional cost associated if you do upgrade from a level to another. It would just be the difference between what you've already paid and the actual cost of the level that you'll upgrade to.
Okay, and my other question was already answered, so I don't have anything else. Thank you.
100%.
Can I piggyback off of Rodney's question real quick?
Sure.
Will those levels change over time, or are we locked in at when we purchase to the prices that were shown to us?
So yeah, correct. Yes, you are grandfathered into the prices that you see here today.
Okay.
And so the prices do definitely change. And so, for you to be locked in, yes, you are grandfathered.
Sorry
Great
about that.
question. No worries, no worries. All right. So we've got Zoom user, we've got Lucia, and then we've got Donald. Okay, we'll give the Zoom user a moment to unmute.
Am I
Okay,
a
looks
Zoom? Am I a Zoom user?
you are a Zoom user. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was like wondering where my name was. Hey, what's up, Aaron? I'm the husband of Ria that you spoke with earlier.
Okay.
I just want to take this time to I appreciate you and that this I do actually I've been doing a lot of research and I back you. I hope it is a risk that we're all are understandingly it is, but I have faith of this company. I have faith of you, and a big importance to me really is the people, right? Who's I understand numbers. Numbers is the numbers. It looks great, but it's who are the people who's handling our money and I think seem like a solid dude and it's more about me. I just want to make sure that once we through with you, I just want to make sure that that we're also. It's not like we're just left to the dust, and it seems like it's not. We have a solid team that's going to be helping us throughout the process. If we have any questions, and that's
Yeah.
super important, right? It's not like we're going to be just there you go, and then
Left.
if you understand. So I do
Yeah.
have. Yeah. So go ahead.
No, well, I just wanted to touch on that just for everyone's interest. My background, the first job that I got out of high school was in customer service. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I learned very, very early on is how important customer service is because you're the liaison between the product and the actual customer. And
Yes, sir.
so that's something that I know if you handle questions not only fast but accurate, then they will really appreciate you. And you can have a bad product with really great customer service, and customers are okay, right? They're not very happy, but they're not furious necessarily. But you can have a great product and great customer service, and your clients are extremely happy. And that's what we in my opinion have. That's what we strive for. And so that's an emphasis that we do take on.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, and I appreciate that. Okay, so my other thing was the brokerage company that we would be signing up. Who would be what company is that?
Yeah, so there's a few different options. We do have Ox Securities. We do have Axis Prime. There is TradeStation. There are options that you do have. It depends on the algorithm that you do decide in the portfolio that you pick.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Okay, and then God forbid, like let's say something catastrophic happens in the world and things happen, and there's no like, and then um we can it's fully liquid, right? So like we can just take out their money just in case and all
Yeah,
that, if God forbid that ever, knock on wood, never happen, but
yeah. It's your brokerage account. It's your
right, yeah,
account, and so you
yeah.
have access to your capital. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then there's like one last thing. I remember reading some fine print thing on one of your videos. I think Aaron did cover it. I just want to hear from you. It was let me see if I can find it real quick. But it was basically stating that let's see, I think Forex. Yeah, it says Forex trading on margins involve significant risk. So you do you remember that? Instead of me reading it, all, do you know where I'm coming from
Yeah,
with that?
of course.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a question on it?
Yeah.
Or?
Can you? So like like I'm just it says we may lose more than our initial investment. So that part is like where I just want you to elaborate specifically,
Yeah.
what that really means. Because I don't want to
So
lose more than what I'm putting in.
So the way that we trade, that is that option or that reality is not actually possible, but that disclaimer is necessary per our lawyer. This
Okay.
is basically
Okay.
that's basically
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So I just wanted to double check. Okay. Cool. That's it. Thank you,
absolutely.
man. I appreciate you.
100%,
Yes,
100%.
sir.
All right. Look forward to seeing you soon. All right. So we've got Lucia, we've got Donald, and then Alex. I think you joined a little bit later, but we're just answering any specific questions that you have, limiting to 1 or 2 questions. So we'll go with Lucia first if you want to unmute, and then we'll go to Donald next. And Lucia, if you're not able to unmute, then we'll go to Donald, and then we'll go to Alex.
Yes, I've kind of joined late, so the only question I would have is, since this is being recorded, is, is there somewhere we can go and review this from the very beginning?
So typically we don't send out the recording, but when you do get with your representative, we'll make sure that you have all of your questions addressed. And
Thank you.
cool. Love it. All right. So we've got Alex. I know as well, you joined a little bit later. If you do have a question, you can let me know. Otherwise, we'll go ahead.
Yes, hi everyone. I joined because of Lucy. She's the one who invited me here. And yeah, I have a
Okay.
couple of questions. Even though I joined late, I spoke with her yesterday about this. So are you guys helping us trade, or it's like investment tools?
Well, so it's better because you're getting secondhand information from not our representative. So it's better for you to either have another recap call with Lucy, or for you and Lucy to hop on a call with the representative and be able to answer kind of some of these type of questions. For the most part, everybody on this call, at the very least, has had a call with one of our representatives. So we want to make sure that we preserve this time for those that are more up to speed.
Okay.
Excellent. That being said, any other last minute questions that you all have? We've kind of been able to go over just a little bit, but you guys have had some great questions this evening, or this afternoon. Any other questions before we jump off? Excellent. All right, everyone, enjoy your day. Arrivederci. Ciao. Bye.